Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Molly and this is video 3 in my declutter series. This video will feature all of my palettes, so this should be a fun one. Let's get into the decluttering. Okay, so I'm just going to start out on this side, right down here. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye palette. I love this shade. I've hit pan on these two, and I'm very close on this shade down here. I love this palette. It's just a very nice, neutral, everyday palette. I'm definitely keeping this guy. Next is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This is another classic palette. I love this one because it smells like chocolate, which is really, really great. And these shades in here are nice and neutral, and this gold shade I really love. So I'm definitely keeping this one. Something that I like to do is try out eyeshadows from all different brands just so I get a feel for which ones I like the best. This is from Morphe Brushes. This is the Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette. When this came out, I was like, I really want this for one, just because I love Jaclyn Hill, but for two, because I wanted to try out the Morphe formula. As you can see, I have touched into this a few times on a couple different shades. One thing I love is I love this upper corner right here. Those shades are beautiful. These shadows are a little powdery and some of the shimmer shades aren't as pigmented, but the matte ones are really beautiful. I would like to keep it just simply to have these orange shades. Some of these guys over here are some of my favorites as well. And it kind of helps me not get the 35O palette, simply because it has orange shades in it. So I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to save this guy down here for when we touch on all the Lorac palettes together. So we're going to move on to this guy. This is the Revealed palette from Coastal Scents. I got this in a boxy charm. It's supposed to mimic the first two, I believe, Naked palettes. I tried this the other day because I wanted to make a final decision if I was keeping it or not, and I will not be keeping it. It's nothing special. I have these shades in other palettes, and they're better quality shadows, so I will not be keeping this guy. I wasn't sure if I was going to include this or not since this is a Z palette. But the shades in here, I have the Naked 1 and 2, I believe. It's missing a few shades, and then these are from a Kat Von D palette. I wanted to mention this because I really have tried the Naked shades. I'm not a big fan. I really am not. I wish I had other shades to put in here. I never ever grabbed this, but I'm not going to throw a Z palette because it is customizable, but I just want to touch on I'm not a fan of the Urban Decay shadows. I really actually want to replace these shades with the other shades that I do like. Moving on to these three from Anastasia Beverly Hills. The Modern Renaissance is the newest one in my collection. It's beautiful. I love this. I've worn it multiple times. I love the orange shades. I love these purpley shades. It's a very beautiful palette. The shadows are very, very pigmented, and I highly, highly recommend this. I'm sure everyone is, but the only thing I can say I don't like about it is this velvety texture. I do like to wipe off shades on the sides of my palette, and the shadows stick to this velvet texture. That's the only bad thing I can say about this. The Maya Mia palette was a collaboration palette, and I love this one. I reach for this one also all the time. This caramel shade, beautiful warm taupe. The aqua, this blue, it's a little powdery, but it still goes on beautifully. I love this palette. This was one that I would take to work with me. Love it. Okay, so this is the Anastasia Self-Made palette. Well, I guess when I first saw this, I wanted it. I think I got it off of Birchbox with points, but I really do not love it anymore. I do not reach for it. I don't know. There's not enough matte shades. I don't think there is any matte shades, actually. Probably just buttery, this one up here, and hot chocolate with a little bit matte, but I just don't reach for this. Bless you. I just don't reach for this at all, ever. So I'm going to be getting rid of this one, probably on my Poshmark, which I will link down below. If you're interested in buying a used one, it's authentic. It's just I just don't use it. Now it comes to my Lorac collection, which I'll move separate. I was in a kick where I would buy everything that had the Lorac name on it, but I found out quickly that not all of the palettes have the same quality as the Pro palettes, which leads me to these guys down here. I bought this one off of Haute Look because it was beautiful. These shades are gorgeous. Unfortunately, there's just not much pigment to them at all, and they just aren't I don't know, they blend out to like nothing almost. So I will be getting rid of this one as well. This one I actually bought used off of the Makeup Exchange subreddit on Reddit. Again, I don't ever reach for this palette. I don't know, the shades are pretty, but the palette is just underwhelming. This is a no. Alright, moving on to the Lorac Pro palettes. This is the original, the Pro 1. I have taken this palette again traveling. It's just a very beautiful palette, all matte shades on top, all shimmer on bottom. It's just, there isn't that much I can really say about this besides I love it. I love the formula of Lorac shadows. They're probably my favorite formula out of all the shadows I own. So this is a keep, definitely. The Pro 2 is the cool toned sister to that one. This buff shade, completely gone. Just working around the edges in it. This Nectar shade is a beautiful light pink. You can't even really see it on my hand. But when you put it in your crease, it's like a great transition shade. It's beautiful. So this is also a keep palette. Here is the Lorac Mega Pro. This was a limited edition. They had the Pro and then they came out with a Pro 2. I wasn't that impressed with the Pro 2, so I just picked up the original Pro when it came out. It does have some beautiful purples in it that I love. I love this mulberry shade right here. It's gorgeous. Their shadows are like butter. Like, that pigment is crazy. This is definitely another keep for me as well. Alright, moving along to these guys over here. These three are palettes by The Balm. Which I do enjoy their formula. So I'm first going to talk about this guy right here. This is the Rockstar palette. I really do like this one. It has a nice mirror at the top. It has shades in here that are pretty neutral. They do have some purples, a nice dark brown, a nice kind of green with gold flecks in it. Really pretty. One of the things I love about this palette is right down here there's a luminizer and there is a blush. This is the Mary Luminizer, and this is the blush Frat Boy, which is one of my favorite blushes of all time. And then down here, if you open this up, there's actually two lip and cheek colors. I used this palette the other day, and it was awesome. It reminded me how good these shadows are, so I will be keeping this one. This one my husband got me 1 year for Christmas. It is the How About Them Apples Cheek and Lip Cream Palette. I've actually used this a few times. I'm not a huge fan of cream products, so this is one I'm just keeping just for sentimental value pretty much. I do love the colors in here, but it isn't something I reach for a lot. But it is something I like to have on display just because I like the pin up on the front. I know it sounds like a stupid reason to keep something, but I do really like this palette. I just don't use it as much as I'd like to. And then the final The Balm palette that I do have is the Meet Matte Nude palette. This one people have heard of a lot too. It has beautiful matte nude shades in here. I do reach for this one occasionally, but I can never complete a whole look just in this palette. So I usually reach for this, just use one shade or two shades, and then move on to another one. It is good for that, but I love the formula of their shadows. It kind of reminds me of the Lorac shadows a little bit. They're a little more powdery, so I will be keeping this. This is the Maybelline The Nudes palette. I got this before I really got into makeup again. It's not the best shadows, but it did its job. But I think I have other palettes now that have the same shades, if not better, shade range. So I'm going to be getting rid of this one. Now this is not so much an eyeshadow palette as it's just a normal palette. It's the only one I have like this. This is the Eclipse palette. It is 15 concealer shades. Again, I'm not a big fan of cream products, so this one really doesn't go touched that much, so I will be getting rid of this. Just not a fan. This is the other Coastal Scents palette I have. This is the Go palette in London. It arrived to me, this shade up here was broken when I got it, but I never ever use this palette. Again, the quality of shadows just isn't that great. I don't ever reach for it, so why keep it? Okay, this is the Urban Decay Ammo palette. I bought this one used as well from that makeup subreddit. It does have some pretty nice shades in it. Swatching them here, this is Mildew, a green shade. They are pretty. I just don't ever reach for them, not gonna lie. So I will be getting rid of this one as well. Last two palettes here. This is the Urban Decay Electric palette. I have this because I do not have very many bright shades. It's kind of like my bright shade palette I go to for like special occasions or when I just need to add like a nice little under eye, like putting on the lower lash line. This palette is amazing for that. I don't have anything else like it. I do enjoy the formula of this, even though some shades in this palette do stain my eyes. It's just, I like this one a lot better. The formula of these I like a lot better than the Naked palettes as well, so I will be keeping this one. This is the Tarte Rainforest After Dark. Yes, the Rainforest After Dark palette. I got this because I like the whole design of it, the snake with the jewel. It was just really pretty. Opening it up here, you have a blush in the middle, which is in the shade Unleashed. This comes Park Avenue Princess and Champagne as a highlighter, which is actually a decent highlighter, but it's really, really subtle. I've reached this palette a few times, not necessarily my favorite palette. My husband did buy this for me as well when I had a surgery, and he bought this as like a feel better present. I kind of feel bad though getting rid of it because he bought it for me. I really don't reach for it ever. I just have it simply for the look of it. So I will be selling this one. So here are the palettes all laid out together at the end. I grouped them all into twos, so I am keeping 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 palettes, and I'm getting rid of 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 palettes, which is pretty good considering I just love my palettes. Ones over here that are like a little bit nicer condition, like the Tarte Rainforest After Dark palette, the Anastasia Self-Made, probably this Lorac one. They will be going up on Poshmark. I will link that down below in case you're interested in buying any of these. Overall, this was a pretty good declutter. I almost got rid of half, so that's pretty good. Be sure to like this video if you liked it and subscribe for future videos. I will be putting out 2 of these decluttering videos a week, so be on the lookout for those. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.